Is that the kind of the brand of footy that you want to play after a couple of rough start to the season? I guess you had a really good game today. Is that the brand of footy you want to play for the rest of the year?
Yeah, absolutely. We love moving the footy quickly. We pride ourselves on the contested footy and then getting it out into space, which we responded from last week. Obviously, it's well documented. We were disappointed with our efforts last week, especially after half time. And the boys responded in the best way possible tonight. We've had a great week on the track, and probably from the first bounce tonight, we played the way that we want to play, which is really pleasing.
A lot of the ball going inside forward 50 and multiple goal scorers must be a nice feeling for the team.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, obviously we haven't scored over 70 points for the season, so to get over 100 tonight was good. Potentially should have finished off a bit better. I think we kicked 22 points. So if you convert a few of them to goals, it could have been a really big win, but we'll definitely take the win tonight.
And you've got Clarence next week. It'd be a nice test to see where the side's really at.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're 5-0, so they've got some quality players. Siggins in the ruck has had an outstanding start to the season. Jake Cox has been playing forward a fair bit in the recent weeks, so we have to get our matchups right like we do every week, but they're the informed competition, and they'll go in very short price favourites on form. So we've just got a massive challenge. We happened to beat them over there last year, so we know that we play the ground well, so we're really looking forward to the challenge next week.
Will that be part of the message you give to the boys over the week?
Yeah, I think so. Like as Kane said after the game, we've won tonight, so we just need to focus on our next challenge, which is Clarence over there. Take some confidence from last year beating them over there. The bigger ground suits the way we want to play. We've got blokes with good leg speed, blokes that can use the footy well, so we just need to work hard for 4 quarters and hopefully get another result.
Well, firstly, there was an interesting moment pre-match in the warm-up where Devonport ran a little bit through Hobart City's warm-up. Was that a move by the team to kind of make a statement that we're here for the game tonight?
Oh, look, no. In fact, I missed that coming out of the sheds myself. No, not at all. Having said that, we've got a really young group, and Mitch has been impressing on them all year. You know that you stand strong together. You know, stand united, and look, pressure on the ball carrier and pressure at the ball's been a real feature of our play this year. So no, nothing in that at all.
A couple of issues with skill in the first half, but you must have been really pleased with the boys' effort through all 4 quarters.
Yeah, I mean, skill is probably a cracked record all year, and you get that with young guys. You know, turning the ball over, our kicking, it will continue to be a focus. It has been all year, but effort, just like against North Lonnie. Last week, the first quarter, right back round 1 against Launceston. I mean, the pressure and the effort from the young fellows, particularly to tackle, to harass, to really fight in those contested situations, is we really can't fault it at all. We've just got to learn to do it for 4 quarters as well. So, again, young men will drop off. But yeah, really pleased with, especially some of our really young guys, Mitchell Perry, Sharon Eager. These blokes they've only played 4 or 5 TSL games, but they don't take a backward step, and they surely, for little blokes, certainly impact the contest hard.
You mentioned that you got a pretty young side. Must be nice considering that to have the leadership group really stand up during the games.
Oh, look, absolutely, and a lot's been said about the age of our list this year. It really is a young group. But, having Mitch back on the field after that injury earlier in the year just makes them stand a little bit taller. His voice, his direction. Bo Sharman's been outstanding all year. Dylan Riley, he's an absolute gun, but he also is really helping the youngsters. Quade Byard tonight was fantastic. It's really important that we have those guys playing well, but also, providing that direction for these young guys out in the field. And you're right, they really did stand up. Mitch just getting back into it after that injury, thought he was really terrific. You know what you'll get with Mitch Thorpe. He'll compete all day long. It was nice to see him kick a few goals tonight.
Obviously not the start of the season you probably wanted, but what do you say to a group of guys like this out on the track over the next couple of weeks, considering where the team's placed? What do you say to them?
Well, look, the really pleasing thing at the moment, and we've spoken, resilience was one of our pillars all through the pre-season, will remain, is that they are a resilient bunch. And I guess the really pleasing thing is that nobody's turning on one another. Nobody's starting to play the blame game or make excuses or point the finger when things get tough. So I guess from a coaching group perspective, it's really exciting that while things aren't going for us on the scoreboard, and players are dirty, I just had a look around the change rooms then, and some of the younger blokes, they're sitting down and their heads are down and they're really down on themselves, even though we're really impressed with their effort. So we don't need to say too much around keeping the morale up. They're doing that themselves, which is, as I said, really exciting for a young group, because it would be very easy for them to, start to drop their head, fall off, play the blame game, but they're not doing that. They're really rallying together. Even Mitch himself, it must be frustrating at times. Rallied the troops at half time. He could have blew their head off, but he was really, really positive with the messages. Very sternly, I might add, but really positive. So what we've really got to do is just tidy up. I mean, you mentioned at the start the skills, the way we use the ball. And just being a little bit smarter with the way we defend. Young blokes get drawn to the football, and Hobart tonight were able to, get off the leash a little bit and move the ball, not always with that pressure on them. So, they're learning that, and we'll continue to work on that at training.
You mentioned Mitch was pretty stern with them at half time, and obviously they were a lot better after half time. You must have been pleased with how they responded then.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We thought our third quarter was really impressive, and not just because we kicked a few goals, but a few blokes were challenged at half time, absolutely, to provide a stronger effort around the ball and to put your head over the ball. Not to overrun the ball and be soft when you are putting your head over the ball. So, and I mentioned a couple there before. Sharon Ugar's 16-year-old kid, and to run back with the flight and to crash in and to tackle hard, for him to be leading the way is fantastic. Mitchell Perry down back did the same. Ben Hawkes, who played his 50th game recently, is becoming a real leader in those toughness stakes. Toughness at the ball, nothing silly. So yeah, they did respond, and I know Mitch was really pleased. His message at three-quarter time was just that he'd seen the change in attitude and willingness to go a little bit harder. So yeah, that was really pleasing.
Thanks very much.